but my specialization is in instrumentation engineering, measurement and control. And I joined this institute in 2005, and my teaching experience is about 25 years. I usually offer courses on sensors, transducers, IoT applications, LabVIEW, MATLAB applications, advanced controls, PLC and automation, and so on. Apart from that, I also offer courses for professional skill development, like your induction training on advanced pedagogy, different active learning methodologies, say problem-based learning, project-based learning, blended learning, and so on. And today, we shall discuss about your students' project work, which is very much included in this various topics included in the advanced pedagogy courses. Okay. Now, I think it is your third day or second day, I think. Am I correct? Or when your course started, this week or last week? Second day. Okay, okay. So this is your second day. So anyway, you will also get exposure on different topics in this particular program. So let us start with very common topic on students' project work. Okay. So in this particular topic, first of all, I shall discuss about different project works, what are the project works, what are the different types of project works, classification, as well as assessment of the students for their project work, how to write the report, and all these different things, and also assessment rubrics will also be discussed in this particular session. So I shall start the session, and I also request you to please go through, or you please just hear from me. I want to share some experience with you. Also, all of you are teachers, so you have that experience on how to guide your students for project works, because you are all teachers and also you are involved in guiding students in the project work. Only salient some features I shall share with you so that you can perfectly guide your students, as well as you can evaluate your students, and also your assessment part. How will you assess properly your students? And lastly, how these project works can help you to go for publication or any other publication in journal, conference, etc., so that it will be also an added advantage for you, so that you can get some data, some analysis, etc., through this experimentation. Okay. This project work I shall consider as a special type of experiment. You know that different types of laboratories are there in your curriculum. Various laboratories are there. In the laboratory, the students are going through their hands-on practices. In project work also, the students will have some hands-on practices. But these two types of hands-on practices are actually different. In case of your laboratory work, all the experiments are known beforehand. That is, what are the different experiments to be performed, that is known. Okay. But in case of project work, something different, that is hands-on practice will be something different, and also students becomes matured enough at the end of this almost their course, because students project work is normally included at the last semester or last but one semester. Okay. Anyway, so let us discuss the different features on this uh, guiding projects or selecting project work and so on. Okay. And at the end of this session, I shall give you some questions. Okay. So that you will answer all those questions. You will prepare the answers of those questions, and at the last, we shall discuss those answers. Whatever you have learned from this session, that will also be discussed at the end of the session. Okay. So please carefully hear from this discussion so that you can rectify yourself, modify yourself, you can better way guide your students and so on. Okay. So let us continue, or let us start our session. So in the first part, we shall discuss project work planning and evaluation. Okay. Project work planning and evaluation, that is two parts are there. How will you plan for the project work of your students, and then how will you evaluate the project work from your students. Okay, that is how will you evaluate the project work which you will receive from your students, right? So let us start with this particular part, project work planning and evaluation. Also, I shall request you to please go through the slides so that you will be able to answer the questions which I shall discuss. And the answers, I also expect some answers from your side, and on the basis of your answer, we can have some common discussion, right? So now come to project work planning and evaluation. I think my screen is visible to you. Let us first define what is project work. Especially students' project work is involved or included in the curriculum almost the last semester or last but one semester. Okay, that is 2 semesters are more or less used for this project work. So why at the last of the curriculum? Because this project work is particular work to be done by the students on the basis of their knowledge, whatever they have gained in their course. Okay, so throughout the course, whatever they have gained, they will integrate it to complete their some work, some piece of work which can be visible about their expertise, their skill development, etc. Okay. So what is project work? Let us define it. Project is actually a piece of research work by a student. This is in a single line, we can say that it is a research work. Why research work? Because they may have the opportunity to have the experience of research through this project work first in their engineering career. Okay. And this is the best way to practice, because a lot of hands-on activity is involved, and not only that, the whole knowledge is integrated one by one for their practice. So it is the best way to practice what one has learned through the last few semesters. In another way, we can say A project is a scientific and systematic study of real issue or problem. Some real issue or problem should be there which will be studied, and that study will be a systematic study in a scientific manner. And not only that, the student will solve that problem included in the real issue, and they will of course find a solution. What problem they will solve? The problem need not be an extraordinary. Okay. Several issues are there related to the working situation, related to the institution, related with the society, etc. So those issues are to be identified by the students. They will study systematically those issues, and during studying they will perform their research work, and that will be actually helpful for their career. So what they will do in the project work? The project involves collection, analysis, and interpretation of data to draw some conclusion. This conclusion is nothing but the solution at the end. So they should identify the issue or problem what they want to solve. They should collect some data. They will analyze the data, and after analysis they will interpret the data, and finally they will draw the conclusion. How the data will be collected? Data will be collected through experiments, through some survey, through some case studies, and so on. And those data are actually, the collection of data must be included in the project work. Sometimes it is observed that students are doing their work just by searching some phenomena from net. They will take some papers and they will just prepare some setup, or they will just cut and paste some activities or work done by some other persons or scholars or researchers, and they ultimately finally they will submit it. It is not that. Data should be collected through experiments, and naturally these experiments are to be performed in their laboratory. So normal conventional laboratory experiments are something different from those experiments which will be used in the project work to collect the data, right? So some differences are there. What are the differences? That I shall tell you one by one. And not only that, the project is a time-bound activity. Okay, the project is a time-bound activity, and it should be completed within a stipulated period of time. So within the semester, at the end of the semester, they should submit the report. So before submitting the report, they should complete the work. They should complete their data collection, analysis of data, interpretation of data, and so on. So it is a time-bound activity, and it may be an individual or group project. So the students may be individually involved in the project work, or a group of students, a group of 3 or 4 students may be involved in the work. That depends on the situation in the laboratory. That depends on the number of students in the class, as well as number of faculty members involved in the project work in the institution, and so on. So completing a project helps to develop the team spirit. If it is a group work, then team spirit is to be developed, because group activity will also encourage the students to do something in some in some different way than that of the individual, right? Now, why this project work is needed? You know that over the past decade, the use of projects at the undergraduate level in the curricula has been seen as an increasingly important for a number of reasons. It is very much relevant to include the project work in the curriculum. That all of you are aware of that. Huh? And the project work have always viewed as an effective means of research training. It is the first research training for the students. Some students may be involved in their higher degrees for research work and so on. And the project work is always viewed as an effective means of research training and of encouraging discovery approach to learning through the generation of data, analysis of data, and so on. It is discovery approach. What is discovery approach? You have heard the discovery type of experiment, I think. Discovery type of experiment is that some relationship has been established previously, and the students will actually validate that particular relationship or experimentation, etc. So that is actually called the discovery type of experiments. Okay. So students are encouraged for their discovery type of approach to learning through generation of data and analysis of primary data. Not at all that student will do always a new type of experimentation, new type of work or theory, etc. They will establish. Not that. Not always it is true, but they can also verify some previous formula or experimentation and so on. So that is your discovery approach. That may be also included in the students' project work. And this type of approach is aimed at the development of higher level of cognitive skills. You know that Bloom's taxonomy level, at the lower level, it is remembering, then understanding, then application, applying, okay, then analyzing, creating, etc. Okay, so you see that all these are the different levels of cognitive skills, and the project work is actually higher level of cognitive skills, where you will include the analysis part, you will include synthesis part, and even evaluation part is also included in the project work. So that is why this analyzing, synthesizing, or evaluating, all these things are actually higher level of cognitive skills. So in the project work, which is a typical activity to be done by the students almost at the end of their course, is basically to develop their higher level of cognitive skills. Okay. And naturally, your assessment type, transfer, their assessment must be to be taken care of, because diversifying assessment is there. Assessment means how will you assess the project work of your students. Okay. And this is actually development of skills for employability. And it will also, this project work will also empower the learner. And not only that, the students gets motivated, highly motivated in doing some new piece of work or any discovery type of experiments in their work as a project work, right? So basically in this work, the students should be guided in such a way that they will do their experimentation, will generate the primary data. So until and unless they are actively involved in the experimentation process, the data will not be generated. So basically, generation of primary data is very much important in the project work. Okay. And the student will select the project topic. This is quite common. They will locate their own source manual or material rather. So where from they will learn to complete their work. They should locate it properly. So source material they should locate. If in this case, they may need some help from you as a guide. Okay. And finally, the students present an end product End product sometimes maybe a report. If any study is incorporated in the project work, then usually it may be a report and sometimes for assessment. Okay, this report is also used for assessment of the student. So report is actually the product out of this particular activity of project. Okay, and students will conduct an independent piece of work. Sometimes there may be group projects, and projects last over an extended period. At the end of the project work, sometimes the students will write future scope. That is, the project work can be extended further. So if time permits, or if the situation permits, then the students can extend their work, right? And what is the role of the teacher? Teacher's role is as a facilitator. They will not teach everything. The teacher will not teach everything to the students, but they will facilitate their learning, their skill achievement, and so on. Okay. So in the project work, the students will integrate their knowledge, skill, and attitude which they have acquired over the entire period of courses of study. So in each discipline, each engineering discipline, what they have learned in the previous semesters, they will integrate their knowledge, what they have acquired. They will integrate their skill, what they have acquired. They will integrate their attitude towards development of that project work. So all these things are ultimately achieved by the students during this course of project work. Okay. So naturally, whenever they will integrate their knowledge, skill, and attitude, so it should be measured. It should be measured. Why it should be measured? Because you have to assess your students. Okay. So their achievement, students' achievement should be measured for their evaluation. And what you will measure as a teacher or as a guide, you will measure the outcome. Okay. So what outcome they have achieved from their project work, that should be measured. So it should have a measurable, it should be measured because it should be quantified for their evaluation part. And naturally, there should be a realistic time frame for completion of the project work. So an action plan must be there, which should be identified for each of their activity in the project work. Okay. So time frame or action plan with respect to time should be done properly by the students with the help of the guide. The guide or teacher will play as a role of facilitator. They will not themselves do everything. Students will do all these things, and the teacher will help them, or they will actually help them to integrate their knowledge, skill, and attitude, right? And the project work actually consists of various merit components. What are those merit components? What the students will develop during this particular activity of project work? First of all, the student will develop decision-making skills. The students will develop decision-making skill, okay? And that is, since it is independent piece of work, so regarding the work, what should be done at the next, that decision will be taken by the student. So that is nothing but the decision making skill. This is a typical skill component which is developed during the project work. Secondly, the project work offers freedom to students to design and writing reports. So what they will design as their project work, what report they should write, in the report how they will arrange their study, all these things will be done by the students themselves. There is no any laboratory structured manual which they follow normally in the laboratory. In case of project work, that is not there. So students are free now to develop some to design what they will do for their project work and what they will write as a report. They will enhance their creative activities. What is that? Some knowledgeable students may show their creativity in doing their project work. So some creative ideas can be implemented during the project work. So it will enhance the creative activities within the students. Okay. So this is one merit component of the project work. It will also encourage initiative and interest of the students. It is sometimes it is observed that students are not so much attentive in the theoretical class, but whenever they will be doing some project work on their own, they will enjoy their freedom. They will enjoy or they will apply their creative ideas. They will show their initiative to develop some new outcome. Okay. And automatically they will show their interest for developing some new piece of work. So it will encourage initiative and interest. Okay. And finally, it will enhance the confidence and skill to solve problems. What problems? Some real world problems should be solved as a project work. So how they will solve? If the students are able to solve any real world problems, then automatically it will enhance their confidence and skills to solve the problems which they will face day by day in their institute, in their laboratory, or in the outside the institute, in the society, and so on. Okay, so these are the various 5 merit components which are actually related with the project work when the students will do that work during their course of study. Okay. Any question if you have, you can also write your question in the chat box if it is needed, right? Now, there is also some role of the teacher as a supervisor, because supervisors along with their students will plan for any project work. So in planning of any project, supervisors must be clear as to why they are choosing such method of teaching or learning process to promote the aim of the learning process. So why they are choosing such type of teaching learning process to promote the learning process? So in planning of any project, supervisors must be clear as why they are choosing such method of teaching or learning, right? So projects can not only assist with the integration of subject material. It is not only that whatever the students have learned in the last few semesters, those subject materials will be integrated in their work. It is not always true. So projects can not only assist with the integration of subject material, but it provides an introduction to research techniques. In their future career, if any students go for research work, then the research techniques will be partly achieved by the students during their project work. So methods they will accept for their development of project work will be actually assisting them for their future research work. Okay. So methods for project work, whichever will be accepted by the students, will be helpful for them to choose the or to go through the research techniques in their future life. Okay. In fact, unique feature of project signifies the shift in control from supervisor to supervisee. So basically, during the project work, the students are actually come to the teacher not as a teacher but as a facilitator. So they will be involved, both teacher and students will be involved in the discussion. So this is called that shifting of control from supervisor to supervisee, which is really offer a great challenge to both students and supervisor. Okay. Now, how to select the project work, right? Some idea we can say. Suppose students are coming to you, sir or madam, what project work shall I do in this 7th and 8th semester or 5th or 6th semester? How you will guide them to choose an appropriate project work? Actually, finding an idea for engineering project requires to identify the needs. Whose needs? Needs of yourself, needs of another person, needs of a group of people, and so on. If the need is not there, then what is the utility of doing the work or solving the problem? If the solution of the problem is needed by someone, then you will search for solution. If the solution is not needed at all, if the problem is not there at all, then why you will solve, why you will assign some project work on that particular area? So finding an idea for engineering project requires to identify the needs of yourself, needs of another person, or a group of people. The act of looking at the world around to identify these needs is called the need finding. So first of all, this need finding should be nurtured by the students and the teacher. What is the need? Okay. Then, once the need is observed, then idea of the project work will be observed. So then, the idea will be written in terms of a problem statement, right? So the idea of engineering project, once it is observed, then it should be written as a problem statement. The problem statement will be such that the statement must answer 3 questions. What is the problem or need? Who has the problem or need? Why is it important to solve? So if it is a problem, whenever you will be writing a problem statement, that is students will be writing a problem statement, ask these 3 questions to them. What is the problem or need? That is, you as a teacher will ask the student. You have chosen the problem statement, okay? But what is the need of this problem? Is it needed to solve it? Who has the problem or need so that it should be solved? And why is it important to solve? If it is not solved, problem may be there. But if it is not important to solve, then why this work? The utility of work will be 0. So, on the basis of these 3 questions, what is the problem or need? Who has the problem or need? Why is it important to solve? These 3 questions should answer within a problem statement. So, writing a problem statement uses your answers to the questions and follow these guidelines. Who needs what? Because why? So, who needs? You have to fill up these gaps. Ask the students to fill up these gaps whenever they have chosen their work. Okay. So sometimes the students are comes with some problems, but apparently it is interesting. It is observed that it is interesting, but what is the need to solve this problem? That is not specific enough. So once the students select the problem statement, then ask them, you fill the gaps. Who needs what and why? So before moving forward with an idea for engineering project, you should evaluate your problem. So your problem statement, suppose this gap has been filled up properly, problem statement has been written properly by your students, problem statement is clearly written by the students. Then you ask, that is first your task as a guide is ask the students to write a problem statement in which area they want to work. Okay. Once they will write their problem statement on their own, then sit with them. Ask them to fill up the gaps, whatever is shown here. So gaps will be filled up, and after that, suppose they have completely filled up the gaps, problem statement has been written clearly. But with the problem statement, before moving forward, you should evaluate the problem statement or problem. So evaluation of the problem statement, that means how far is it feasible to solve the problem? That is also very important part. That is evaluation of the problem statement. How the problem statement will be looked. That is, that means you have to evaluate the problem statement. Okay. For example, suppose you are improving an existing solution. Sometimes the solution is existing with a problem. Okay. Already the solution is existing. Then you may ask your students, see, solution is existing. Solution is there. You can repeat the work. But is there any improvement? Try to improve an existing solution for your project. You can also encourage your students that try to improve the existing solution of your project, right? So keep in mind that improvements will be part of your problem statement. Okay. So if the problem statement has been solved previously, then you encourage your students to improve slightly in the existing solution. Okay. And that improvement will be a part of the problem statement. That means improvement should be included, should be written in the problem statement. Then your problem statement will be correct. For example, suppose you are making something, that is your students. Your students are making something better or faster or cheaper in their solution. Then in the problem statement also, in what portion or why portion, you have to include that betterment or any time limit or anything, that is, which is a positive part of the investigation, right? For example, here I have written, people need cheaper and better performing car radios because current radios are expensive and poor at picking up weak radio signals. So people need what? This is the need statement, cheaper. And people need better performing car radios. Why better performing they need? Because very poor pickup signals are there. So if any student can develop a problem statement or find a solution of this problem that very weak radio signals can be perfectly catched by the system, then that will be an improvement to the solution and people will accept that solution. So people need cheaper and better performing car radios. How betterment can be done, how it can be done cheaper, all these things, if it is done by the students in solving their problem statement, that should also be included in the problem statement, and that will be an achievement by the students during their project work. Okay. Another example I have given here. Previously, I have mentioned that 3 questions we should ask. What is the problem or need? Who has the problem or need? Why is it important to solve? So 3 questions are there. So on the basis of these 3 questions, we can have who needs, suppose any solution is needed by industry. What needs? Needs to read remote data. That is data which is being generated to be read remotely. Why? Because some plants are normally located at a remote place. Okay. So some plants are normally located at remote place. So naturally, whenever the plant is normally located at remote place, so remote data recording is an essential part in the industry, right? So the project work may be on remote data acquisition. So within 2-3 words, we can say that project work may be on remote data acquisition, right? So this is the area of your problem statement. So what will be the title of the project work? The problem is that remote data acquisition which is to be solved. And title of the project work will be on this remote data acquisition. But what the students will be doing on this remote data acquisition? What activity they will do, that should be focused in the title of the project work. So this is to frame the title is also another part which is to be learned by the students. Remote data acquisition is the activity to be performed, but what part they will do? They will design the system and they will develop the system. So title should include the activity of the students for that particular problem statement. So design and development of remote data acquisition. So student will do what? What is the outcome of the students? Outcome of the student will be designing the system. Outcome of the student will be, after designing, it should be developed by the students. So design and development of remote data acquisition system. How they will design, what they will develop, or any technology, new technology they will involve in their work. So that can also be included in the title. So using some typical name DTMF technology. Okay, so design and development of remote data acquisition system using DTMF technology. So you see that remote data acquisition is the typical area which actually addresses these 3 questions. And after addressing these 3 questions, during writing the exact problem statement, the exact part of the student's activity is design and development. The technology accepted by the students for this solution is DTMF technology. So those things are also to be included in the title of the project. Then the title will be completed. That is, everything is reflected in the title of the project work on the basis of the answers of these 3 questions. Okay. So this you have to find out. Sometimes you have seen that the title is written study of something. Say, if I can write study of remote data acquisition system, that will be quite different from that if it is design and development of remote data acquisition system. Study means only you will study different cases and you will compare those cases, right? No, what technology there is no any separate technology the students are using, your students are using. Okay, so what exact part they will be developing, what exact technology they will be using, all these things should be reflected in the proper title of the project work. So be careful about this, and also you help your students to learn how to write the title, how to choose the problem statement, and how to address the need of the society, need of the institute, need of the industry, and so on, so that the relevant problem can be chosen and the solution can be observed on that particular problem statement. Okay. If you have any question, you can also ask regarding the problem statement or regarding the selection of the title of the work. If you have any problem, any question, you can also write in the chat box. Okay. Now, once the problem statement is developed, that is, once the problem statement has been completed, that is, everything is okay. The students has decided what they will do, what technology they will accept, what activity, that is design part or development part or study or anything, whatever they will do, everything is clear. Then also after that, the problem statement should be evaluated. That is how far the problem statement is correct. That is to be evaluated from various points of view. It is sometimes observed that students are telling that, sir, I have done the project work, but it has not been completed within time. The incomplete report has been submitted in the examination. Why this incomplete report will be submitted? What was the lacuna during selection of the problem statement? So, evaluation of the problem statement is needed. That is, you are choosing a problem, you know what to do, solution, how to find out, what technology you will use for your students, everything is known. Still then, the project is not completed by the students. That means the problem statement, whatever they have chosen for their project work, has not been evaluated properly. How far it is feasible to get the solution, not to solve the problem in the project work, that is to be also evaluated. So the problem that you select for your students or engineering design project, say, is such that your research and design work will all revolve around finding a solution to the problem you describe. That is true. But some characteristics of good problem statements are there. And those good problem statements are, that is why we are telling this good problem statement, because those problem statements, whenever evaluated properly, then we can call them as a good problem statement. First of all, the problem should be interesting enough to read about the work on for the next few months, because the student will work, say, for 6 months or 1 year for solving the problem. Okay, the problem should be interesting enough to read about and work on for the next few months. You can give some problem to the students, suppose that designing, developing, as well as technology, everything you have given to the students, but the students are not at a position to grasp the technology, to implement the technology during solving the problem. They are not able to properly design the problem statement. They are not getting interest in doing the work. So the problem you should choose in such a way that the problem should be interesting enough to read about and work on for the next few months. Okay. Next, this is one part of the evaluation of problem statement. Second part of evaluation is that there should be sufficient sources of written information on the subject, because students will learn something around the problem statement. Where from they will learn? They will learn from net, they will learn from journal papers, they will learn from conference papers, they will learn from technical notes from net, and so on. So, sufficient source of written information on the subject should be there, which will be gone through by the students, so that they can identify that similar products are there which can be analyzed. Right? The problem is specific enough to allow you to design a solution. So if the problem statement is such that the students are actually searching and searching the solution, they are doing some mathematics, some calculation, some experimentation, but they are not able to find the solution at the end. So this is useless. Okay, so problem should be specific enough how far they will proceed. It should be specific enough to allow you to design the solution, right? So this is also a part of evaluation of the problem statement. And for an engineering project, it is important to think ahead, to avoid difficulties and to save lots of unhappiness later. Why this lots of unhappiness later? Because if the project work is not completed, then in any interview or in the job market, whenever the persons in the interview board will ask what project you have done, what solution you have done, what is the circuit you have developed, what is the software you have developed. So if the work is not completed at all within the stipulated period of time, so lots of unhappiness will also occur. So for an engineering project, it is important to think ahead, to avoid difficulties and to save lots of unhappiness later. So how does your possible solution stack up against these issues? That will be obtained at the beginning of your work. Okay, so can you think of a way to measure whether your solution is better than what already exists? This question should be asked by the students themselves. Whether any solution is better. It is always based if you can measure your improvement numerically. Suppose the student is claiming that whatever they have designed, it is cheaper. But cheaper is a qualitative word. Ask the students to describe their product. If it is declared as cheaper, then how much cheaper? Is it cheaper in cost? Is it faster in time? So any numerical value associated with its cheapness or fast in time, that is numerical value should be, that is quantifying element should be there. That is numerical value will quantify how much cheaper it is, how much faster it is. Okay, so numerical improvement in terms of numerical value should always be presented by the students. So as a teacher, as a facilitator, you will ask your students to do their work in such a way that they can compare numerically with the previous solutions. Okay, this is one thing. Another is that suppose the solution has been done in the project work. So can you design a solution that is safe to build, use, store and dispose of? If it is a chemical engineering related problem, then some materials may be developed or some liquid or solutions may be developed which may be harmful for the atmosphere. Where to dispose it of? It is to be mentioned in the work and it should be clear cut, because the persons who will evaluate you during your examination, he will ask all these questions. Okay, so if you design a solution that is safe to build, use, store and dispose of, that you also have to find out. Do you have all materials and equipment you need for your solution? That is also another question to address. So if you give any project work to your students, if the materials or equipment is not available in the lab, and if you ask your students, okay, it is not available in the lab, you will purchase it, I shall help you for your purchase, the institute will give the money. But every purchase is related with the time factor. So within the stipulated period of time, is it possible to gather all the materials and equipment needed for completing the project work? So it should be thought at the beginning of the work. Okay, so all these are to be evaluated before entering into the before entering the entering into the experimentation for the project work, right? So these are actually evaluation of the problem statement. These are related with the evaluation of the problem statement. So if if the problem statement is not evaluated in this way properly, then automatically some unhappiness will be observed at the end. Okay. Any question if you have, please ask. Now come to another issue, which is project team. What is project team? A team is defined. Team means a general team, not project team as such, but a team is defined as an interdependent collection of individuals who work together towards a common goal. So some common goal is there. And within the team, the responsibility is shared for specific outcomes. Okay, so team is defined as an interdependent collection of individuals who work together towards a common goal and who share responsibility for specific outcomes. Similarly, that of the project team. That means within the project team, the members of the team will have the common goal. Members of the team will share the responsibility for completion of the completion of the project work, and the project team usually consists of a variety of members, often working under the direction of a project supervisor. So project supervisor will be responsible for distributing the work within the team members so that at the end of the semester, they will give or they will provide the specific outcomes, common specific outcomes. So in the team, the distribution of work should be done by the supervisor. Some members may be given the software part. Some member may be given to develop the circuit. Some member can be allotted the responsibility for developing some sensor. Some member may be given the specific responsibility for integrating all these things. Ultimately, the common outcome will be observed. And the team members, selection of team members is also a vital aspect. Project teams need to have the right combination of skills, abilities, and personality to achieve the cooperative learning. So actually, the project team is nothing but within the project team, some cooperative learning is going on. So project teams need to have the right combination of skills, abilities, and personality. Okay. And the most common method is at the discretion of the project supervisor. So project supervisor will select the team member so that an appropriate combination, right combination of skills with students, abilities of the students, personality of the students will be integrated to achieve the common goal. That is, the target of the supervisor will be to achieve the final outcome at the end of the project work. There should not be any incompleteness in the work at the end. And at the same time, the students will achieve the appropriate skill, appropriate abilities, and personality in developing the project work, right? How the effective team can be formed? Forming effective teams is an important first step in cooperative learning. A team of 4 normally is chosen as the most effective size. You know it very well because I think you also prepare a team almost with 4 members or like that. Okay. So a team of 4 has been shown to be the most effective size. A 4-person team allows for many different kinds of interactions. The group can work as a team or can be broken down into 2 sets of pairs. Because that is 4 students are there. 2 students will be given some hardware part, and 2 students may be given some software part. Okay, so the group can work as a team or can be broken down into 2 sets of pairs. Each team should be as heterogeneous as possible. So heterogeneous members should be there within the team so that the interaction between the team members becomes effective. And if the heterogeneous group is formed, then the students will be able to learn with different areas of their activity or courses or material. Okay, so different areas they will be exposed of during this particular activity. Now, suggested guidelines for team formations are written here. Each team should consist of 1 high ability student, 2 average students, and 1 low ability student. Okay. So each team should consist of 1 high student, 2 average students, and 1 low ability student so that a heterogeneous group is formed. Team should generally include both boys and girls. Then each team should reflect the ethnic diversity of your classroom. That is, in your classroom, suppose some different ability students are there. Some students are very much sound in software. Some students are very much sound in hardware. Some students are very much punctual and they are very much attentive in their work. So that diversity can also be maintained in the team formation. Okay. And after that, after formation of the team, the supervisor should provide the opportunities for them to work together. So if the supervisor gives the problem statement to a group, so a group has been formed and one problem statement has been given, the student will do their work as per their own. So ultimately, the improvement or ultimately the work done at the end of the semester will not be achieved properly. So opportunities for working by each student in the team should be created by the project supervisor. So as a supervisor, after forming teams, you should provide opportunities for them to work together. So distribution of the work should be done properly so that the students can learn properly. Okay. Now, 2 types of projects are very much common. This is classification of the project work. It is normally classified into 2 types. One is a structured project and another is unstructured projects. Okay. So structured project and unstructured projects. These 2 types of project works are actually done by the students under the guidance of the supervisor. Okay. And structure, that is from the very name, you can get the idea that structured project means everything is structured. Structured, if that is the thing has been done previously. Someone has raised hand. Rajesh Kaushal, you have raised hand. Do you have any questions, sir? Rajesh Kaushal, you have raised your hand. Do you have any question? Okay. Distinction has been made between structured and unstructured type of projects and steps of supervision. Okay. Structured means the work has already been done by some previous groups. The same has been structured, already done. That structure will be followed by the another group, and finally they will submit the report. This is the structured projects. Okay. And what about unstructured types of projects? Unstructured types of projects are actually not done previously properly. Structured project has no risk of failure. That is, it will be done. Everything is structured. So, structured means there is no risk of failure. The student will be able to complete the circuit, able to take the data, analyze the data, and they will finally present the project work at the final examination. There is no risk of failure. Okay. So, thing will be done properly. Right? At the same time, the role of supervisor is made easier in this sense. Supervisor actually will give some previously done work to the current students. They will follow the work and they will submit the report. They sometimes they will copy and paste the data and so on. Okay. So supervisor will be, the task of the supervisor will be very much easier. Okay. So previous clarified steps will be there. According to those stages, the project report will be evaluated. Now, major drawback of the structured projects are that it is insufficiently open-ended. Everything is done. So what new things the student will do? It is too prescriptive. That is, everything is prescribed previously and the same thing will be repeated by the students and so on. Okay, too prescriptive. It offers rationalist approach. Okay, and lacking constructive approach. Everything is done previously. So what is any new construction within the work? Okay, and absence of real challenges to the students. These structured projects will have no challenges for the students. Okay, so real challenges are absent to the students for these unstructured, structured projects. The students, everything will copy previously, whatever has been done, right? And everything is done previously. So absence of challenges, real challenges to the students are there. I shall request the participants not to draw such lines on this, on your screen. All of you are teachers, so please do not do all these things just like students. Now, positive aspects of unstructured projects. So from the very name of unstructured projects, what we can say, unstructured, that is nothing is structured. Everything that is whatever has been done previously, that is not followed. Some new thing, new idea is implemented. New problem and solution will be implemented. Okay. So the positive aspects of unstructured projects refer to the following. It promotes the deep approach of learning. So every that is approach towards learning is of in depth should be there. Okay, so it promotes a deep approach in learning through proper materials, arrangement of materials should be there. It will be learned properly. What will be the solution? They will search the solution. So ultimately, it will allow, that is unstructured projects will allow the potential for students to progress along a hierarchy of understanding. Hierarchy of understanding means it is just like the flowchart. That is, this part will be done first. Then on the basis of the decision of the first step, the second step will be taken care of. On the basis of the decision from first step and second step, the third step will be taken. Okay, so hierarchy, progress along a hierarchy of understanding will be there. And encourage the awareness of the importance of using sufficient evidences. So naturally, the students will be actually they will give their attention for some important findings out of their experimentation. So that is significant evidence of their learning. Okay. So main critique of adapting the unstructured project is that the students will be given excess of choice and scopes. They are free to do whatever they want. They should be motivated to do some new thing, and they will be searching for those solution of those new problems. So this type of work is really difficult to supervise by the supervisor because everything is unknown. Time is also a factor. Within the time, the work should be completed. So adoption of this type of unstructured methodology eventually may test the facilitatory supervision skills of supervisors. It is really a supervision skill for guiding unstructured projects for the students. Okay, so in view of the above, a compromise, say in case of fully unstructured project, what you will see? If it is a fully unstructured project, then sometimes becomes really challenging for the students and the supervisor that how it will be completed within the stipulated period of time. How the experimentation can be done properly, how the decision from the data can be taken, that is analysis of data, and subsequently decision taken can be done properly. So all these things are really very important aspect in unstructured projects. So risk factors will also be there, whether the students will be able to complete their work within the stipulated period of time. Okay, so unstructured means totally new, and structured means all things are known beforehand. Okay, so to reduce the to reduce that risk factor, what we can do? We can compromise between these two, structured and unstructured, for better result outcome for from the student's point of view and so on. So role of project supervisor is that the supervision of the project requires a time-bound managed activity. So in this case, first of all, in what we are continuing, that there will be some compromise between these two, structured and unstructured. So what the teacher can approach for semi-structured projects. Semi-structured, that is already structured, but something new will be added up with the structured project, which is your semi-structured. So risk factor will be reduced. Students will also learn some new thing. Some structured activities will also be there. So that will be the best solution for completing the project work within the time bound, right? Now, what about the project supervisor? The supervision of a project requires a time-bound managed activity. Okay, time-bound managed activity. All of you are aware of that. And it requires the project management skills. It is really a skill on the part of the supervisor and also as a supervisee. Okay, it is a project management skill that should be there within the faculty member. Okay, so project management skill is to be developed within the supervisor during guiding lots of project works for their students. So how much skill is there? So before floating projects, supervisors should review their own project management skills. So what skill I have for reviewing the project work, that is project management skills. Before floating projects, supervisors should review their own project management skills. Right? The following key points are to be addressed by the supervisor. Supervisor will also have to develop themselves for guiding properly the students' project work. So their own motivation in choosing a project as a learning strategy is to be reviewed. The supervisor also think of their own skill in choosing a work, in managing the work, in guiding the students, and so on. Number one. Then they will think about what type of work they should offer to the students. Is it structured project? Is it unstructured project? Or it is semi-structured projects? So supervisor will decide from their point of view before offering the task to the students. And how they will perform their role as a supervisor, that is also to be addressed by the supervisor. You know that all faculty members remain busy in their classes, in their theory, in their laboratory classes, in their administrative work, and so on. All are busy. Whenever the class is allotted, that is some theoretical class or laboratory class is allotted as per the timetable, that is normally accepted by the supervisor as their mandatory activity. So if the class is there from say 3 p.m., then they are very much conscious about the class. Yes, I have to enter the class at 3 p.m. as it has been displayed in the timetable. But in case of project work, there is no any time allotted in the timetable for the supervisor. So how the supervisor will manage time to guide their work, that must be, regarding that the supervisor should be aware of. So role of project supervisor is very much important in this respect. So during executing their role as a supervisor, two types of loading will be actually considered for the faculties who will be the supervisor. For any project work, two types of loadings are there. One is front loading and another is walkthrough approach. For any project work, front loading means putting the most time in the beginning, at the planning stage. That is, what will be the work, what will be the problem statement, what will be the need finding, how the questions for project work will be addressed for problem statement, what will be the exact title, how the students will start their work, how the team will be formed, who will be in the team, which member will do what work. All these are at the planning stage, beginning stage. So if the supervisor gives maximum time at the planning stage, then it is called front loading. That is putting the most time in the beginning. Okay. Another approach, which is popularly known as walkthrough approach. Walkthrough approach refers that the supervisor should mentally work through every step of the project and considering issues like phasing, time allocation, etc. So throughout the semester, the supervisor will actually keep some time in their timetable, say 1 hour or 2 hour in a week, 2 days in a week or 3 days in a week, and so on. So that is throughout the semester, they will give time for the students. So that is called the walkthrough approach. So what type of approach you will accept for your students, that you will have to decide at the earlier. Okay. And you should have some educational objectives. That is, you will frame some educational objectives for doing the project work. So those objectives must be fulfilled at the end of the work. So whatever be the front loading, whatever be the walkthrough approach, that educational objectives regarding the project work should be written properly at the beginning, and accordingly for the students will follow those objectives, teacher will also follow those objectives, which have been achieved and which are yet to be achieved. All these things will be balanced throughout the semester. Okay. So this reaching the agreement on the set of targets should be there in between teacher and the students. And on the basis of these objectives, educational objectives, the assessment criteria will be developed. How will you, normally, how will you assess your project work? Just from your memory, yes, the student X has done well. Okay, it should be given, he should be given 90%. Student B has not given any time for the work. Okay, give it 60%. But if I say it is not 60%, please give 75%, then how will you justify? So naturally, assessment criteria you should fix up for proper evaluation of your project work. Okay, so supervision of unstructured or semi-structured project works implies assisting to students in formulating the research problems, choosing appropriate methods for implementation, and arranging the means for data collection. That is, you will assist your students in formulating the research problem. This is your activity. Then what type of method they will choose for implementation, you should also discuss that issue with them. How they will do their experimentation, whether the equipment is available or not, whether any material is available or not. So arranging the means for data collection is also to be discussed by the supervisor with their students. Okay. Also, a framework for supervision is to be finalized. Supervision, that is some health condition, safety regulations, any other special educational needs, any disability requirements, any ethical issues, any financial issues, all these things, that is a lot of constraints are there which is to be addressed in the departmental level and should be solved in such a way that students ultimately will be able to complete their work, complete their report, and they will be able to explain their work appropriately at the end of the semester. This should be ensured by the supervisor, and that is the ultimate role of the supervisor in guiding the students' project, right? And supervisor must be very sensitive to the students' ability about their work. So, facilitatory role of supervisor must contain asking supervisees, that is students, some open-ended questions frequently, reflecting questions back and encouraging supervisions to explore strategies to take their work forward further. All these things are there. So supervisor and supervisory relationship should be very cordial during their work. Interaction should be there. Always interaction should be there. Supervisor should establish an agreed and appropriate working relationship, which will ultimately be helpful for the students to go ahead with their own work. Sometimes the supervisor may say that, okay, I have given your problem statement. I have told what experiment is to be done, how the data is to be collected, analyzed, that I have already mentioned to you. Now go and do your own work. Don't disturb me. So this will actually not help the students to complete the work. Okay, so walkthrough approach sometimes gives better result, because throughout the semester, if the supervisor maintains an appropriate working relationship with the students or with the supervisees, then automatically the unhappiness at the end of the semester will be avoided. Students will be very much happy to complete their work, to present their work, to develop their project report and so on. Okay. Now, some planning for supervision from the point of view of teachers are mentioned here. Say, I have mentioned here some checklists. Say, action for planning for supervision. So, for planning for supervision, what this checklist actually is helpful for the supervisors or faculty members like you who will be supervising your students. Okay, so first of all, in the planning stage, you should go through this checklist, whether you have done all these steps or not. So discussion of current strength and weakness, whether it has been discussed or not. Encouragement to the student to plan for taking the work forward has been done or not. Setting of short-term objective within an action plan. Short-term objective. Without objective, the students will not be able to proceed further. So short-term objective within an action plan should be set. Say for the next 2-3 months, what they will do. That objectives must be written one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So these short-term objectives should be achieved by the students in the next 2 months, say. So within these 2 months, you will also interact with your students. At the end of the 2 months, how far they have achieved the objectives, that will be checked by you. Okay. And then if it is observed that students are not able to proceed further, then more detailed time and action frame you have to set. So this is the action called planning for supervision, which you should follow. That is the checklist you should follow, right? Again, for the supervisor, what they will also do more, that is also written one by one in this checklist. Agree action plan. That is, you prepare the action plan with your students. You should review the progress against the action plan. Sometimes we faculty members remain so busy that we are forget to review the progress against the action plan. But it is very much essential for the students for building their career. Okay, so we should review the progress against the action plan. Give feedback on performance. You should give some feedback on performance of the students. Troubleshooting and solving of problem. If there is any problem faced by the students, then the teacher should help them to troubleshoot the problem for solving the solution problem. Redefine action plan if it is needed. And time scale, redefining the time scale may be done. So supervisors show during their review process, they can redefine the action plan and time scale. Okay. And revisit assessment criteria. What assessment criteria the student will follow? That should be revisited. Right. So assessment criteria is another important aspect, how the project work will be assessed. Now some information need to be referred by the supervisors. What information? Supervises written progress reports. What report they are writing? Is it correct? Is the format correct? Whatever should be written at the top sheet, is it correct? Supervises draft material. What material? That is the draft report is to be checked whether they have developed properly or not. Departmental project regulations and assessment criteria. Some departmental project regulations are there. Say in the department, it is decided that project report should be of length 80 pages. The chapters will be given this. That is, details of chapters are given. So all these are project regulations, assessment criteria, what on the basis of which points the assessment of the work will be done. Everything, these information should be referred. That is, need to be referred. This information should be shared by the supervisor with the supervisees or students. Then arrangement for supervision meeting. You should meet with your students. You should give some specific stipulated period of time, duration for interaction with your students. You should arrange this in your timetable. So you should share some quality time with your students, and that time should be free from other interruptions, and that should be ensured by you as a teacher, as a facilitator. And venue of this supervision meeting should be conducive for open discussion. The students will be free enough to discuss with you regarding their progress. So you should not show any other activity during this meeting, so that the students will be benefited from your side what to do next. Okay, so these are the actions you as a facilitator or supervisor should maintain for project work. And also well-structured supervision meeting, how it can be conducted. For well-structured supervision meeting with your students, you should have some phases. In the opening phase, you should clarify the purpose and reaching an agreement on the agenda. That is the opening phase. Middle phase, that is discussion of ideas and issues, monitoring of progress, progress they are showing, adding of constructive feedback, effective questioning, setting and reaching on agreement to sit, agreement of objectives leading to the next supervision meeting. All these are to be addressed in the middle phase. At the end phase, an action plan should be recorded, whether the short-term setting of short-term objectives are there or not, whether the short-term objectives have been achieved or not. Okay, so all these, by adapting these methods, checklist, whatever we have mentioned here, you can follow these as a supervisor, and automatically the supervisee or your students will share a sense of purpose and progress. They will be able to show their progress. Okay. I shall show you the guideline for project report preparation later on. But before that, let us come to the evaluation part. Assessment and evaluation is really an extensive part which is to be followed by the faculties. Now, evaluation of performance of a student after completion of the project is really a large factor. Awareness of basic factors involved in successful completion of the project. We are considering that yes, project has been completed successfully. So skill in utilizing standard code of practice, is it achieved or not? Skill in fabrication and utilizing the machines and tools has been achieved or not? All these are to be evaluated. Students, has their initiative in collecting information or not? And whether they are able to making the use of available resources or not, these criteria must be observed. Whether they have achieved, the students have achieved the ability to analyze and solve the problems or not independently. What is the quality of their work regarding its utility? It should be checked. Confidence on the student's ability to arrive at the goal is there or not? If any failure is observed, then whether any alternative solution has been observed by the students or not, whether they are prepared for that or not. So all these are different criteria with respect to which you will have to prepare the evaluation rubrics for the project work. Okay. So some assessment pro forma we can prepare for evaluation of the project work. Say for example, we are considering design and implementation based project work. The students have done any project work which is design based, and after design it has been implemented. It is a type of the project, right? And then you should prepare this pro forma, what I am showing you. You should prepare this pro forma for appropriate evaluation assessment or evaluation of your students' project work. So in the pro forma, you should write the student's name. You should write the roll number or registration number for your students. That is, the one pro forma will be used for one student. Title of the work, make the project report as excellent, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. That is, these are the gradation. Excellent means some marks, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, according to the criteria. And the evaluation rubric I am showing you here. You see that this is your evaluation rubric. That is, how will you evaluate the students' project work? A lot of criteria I have selected here. Total 11 number of criteria are shown in this page. 11 number of criteria. You can also design some more criteria or less criteria depending on your work. That is on your students' work. I have given a sample here. You can deviate from this sample. For your own work, you will set your own criteria for evaluation. And how will you give the marks for your students? So out of 5, you can give the marks for each criteria. Excellent means 5, satisfactory means 3, unsatisfactory means 1. Okay. And you see that total 11 criteria are there. For each criteria, maximum marks 5, excellent. So total, how much of marks you will be able to give for or able to give to your students here? Total marks 5 multiplied by 11, that is 55. Out of 55, what is the student score you can achieve from this? And then you can convert it over 100. Okay. So these are the criteria. You can also develop some new criteria. You can also add some criteria. You can also modify the criteria. So whatever criteria you will design, that will be absolutely done by you. So first criteria is background reading. So before doing any work, some background reading is necessary. General understanding of the subject area is necessary. Okay, so how this criteria has been developed? Hello? So you see that background reading, general understanding of the subject criteria. This background reading, how far the student has done. This is absolutely necessary for developing their different types of skill in doing the project work. So you see that if you observe that the student's performance is satisfactory, give a tick mark here in this particular cell. Next criteria, report organization and structure. That is in the report. Report is the product out of the project work. Okay. You will say that what if the student is developing any model, any setup, that is also a product. Yes, that is also a product, but report is also another product. So how the report, within the report, how they have organized their experience, their work. What is the structure of the report? So report organization and structure, this is one of the criteria which you can assess. Suppose the particular student has achieved excellent here. Good report is there, organization is very good. Report organization is very good, structure is also well-known structure. So you have given excellent. Then next criteria, reasonable and well-justified conclusions. Critical appraisal of the work. That is, conclusion is a very vital part of any research work or project work. Well-justified conclusion, drawing the conclusion appropriately is really an art. How the student, whatever the student, if the students are actively involved in the work, they will be able to draw the conclusions regarding their work. So reasonable and well-justified conclusions, if it is written properly, which is nothing but the critical appraisal of the whole work. Okay, so this is one of the vital criteria on the basis of which you can assess your students. So satisfactory, if it is satisfactory, give a tick mark here. Now problem identification. Key problems identified and solved. Whether the problems have been properly identified and solved. Is it excellent, satisfactory, unsatisfactory? So if it is satisfactory, give a tick mark here. Then documentation. Documentation, that is any user system manuals they have used, any design of documents in their work, etc. If it is done excellently, then you can give a tick mark here. Completeness. What objectives they have written. At the end of the work, whether the objectives had been achieved or not. Okay. So if it is observed that all the objectives have been achieved fully, then you can give excellent. But if the objectives are not properly achieved, you can give unsatisfactory. Overall system design, that is whatever system they have developed under the project work. If it is satisfactory, you can give tick mark here. If it is excellent, you can give tick mark here. Unsatisfactory, you can give tick mark here. Anywhere you can give tick mark. That is any one cell you can choose. Appropriate use of data structures and algorithms. So if it is related with your data structure and algorithms, then you can use this criteria. If it is not related with data structure and algorithm, then this criteria may be eliminated. Okay. So appropriate use of data structure and algorithm may be given here either excellent, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. Appropriate use of tools, libraries, existing codes, etc. Whether student has used or not. If it is done appropriately as per the guidance of the supervisor, then supervisor may give excellent here. Well structured and readable implementation. That is regarding the implementation part of the work. Whether the student has implemented the work properly. Excellent, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. System testing or verification. So how the system has been tested or verified. Then again, another tick mark may be given. So some criteria may be included in your students' work, some may not be, some addition you can do, some deletion you can do. Okay, so whatever criteria you will choose, how far it has been achieved by the students, that should be evaluated or assessed over this excellent, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. You can also, I have given here 5, 3, 1. You can also distribute it as a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, very good, good, satisfactory, and so on you can give. So that is absolutely your choice. So this is your evaluation rubric for your students. Okay, so evaluation rubric will be designed by you for assessment of your students regarding the project work. Right? So these assessment criteria will be very much useful for your students. Before evaluating your students, not by guessing, but on the basis of this evaluation rubrics, you will assess your students. You will finally evaluate your students. If the students are allowed to give their presentation, say PowerPoint presentation, they will give during their examination. So then also you can also prepare this criteria. Say in the PowerPoint presentation, how far they have prepared the slides, how far they have explained their experimental work during presentation, whether they have communicated properly their work. So several different types of criteria you can design for their final presentation of the project work. So that is also another set of criteria for their final examination. And this criteria is based on their progress during the project work. Okay. So this is related with their progress. What criteria I have written here? This is related with the progress of the students during their project work. And during final examination, whenever they will be presenting their final PPT, and then also you can decide some criteria which will help you to give the appropriate evaluation of your students, right? Now, what is the score? You see that 55, 5 multiplied by 11, total 11 criteria is there. Total marks is 55. And how much the student is achieving here in this particular, on the basis of this criteria? You see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 into 3, that is 18. 18 plus 1, 19. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 multiplied by 5, that is 20. 20 plus 19, that is 39. 39 is the score out of 55. That is, you are appropriately quantifying the student's activity. That is student's project work. 39 is the score out of 55. Okay, so on the assessment is not on the basis of guessing. Assessment will be done on the basis of several criteria, and it will be much more justified. Okay. Several other different criteria may be there. I have also given another example. And one thing is that you are helping your students, or you are guiding your students as a facilitator. You are not acting as a teacher. You are not teaching all the things what the students will nurture during their work. You are just giving the clues how they will learn. Okay. So your involvement in the project work with your students as supervisor may be judged by your students. Students may be asked to make their course assessment regarding your guidance. That can also be there. So you can also prepare another criteria for course assessment with respect to you, your performance as a supervisor. Okay. So how you have performed as a supervisor, you should take feedback from the student so that it will help you for betterment in the near future. So supervisor will do what? Supervisor, name of the department, supervisor, etc. Everything will be there, but student's name will not be mentioned. Has the supervisor done the job properly? So you should get feedback from your students. And this is also another evaluation rubric which is to be used by the students for their supervisor. So regarding preparation and training, you as a supervisor will be able to prepare your students, you will be able to train your students. So accordingly, you will prepare this type of questionnaire or criteria and give this criteria to your students so that they can fill it up. From there, you will get the feedback from the students so that you can rectify yourself as a teacher, as a facilitator, as a supervisor. So aim of the project work were clear or unclear to the students. 0, +1, +2. This is the scale. 0, +1, +2, -1, -2. You see that -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. So -2, this means unclear, +2 means clear. And in between, you can, that is, students will give the tick mark. The aim of the project work were clear or unclear. It is +1. That is 1. Preparation for practical aspects of the project was, that is practical part, poor or good. The student has given this tick mark here, +2. The training in the presentational skills was poor or good. The student, according to his experience, he will give the tick mark. The preparation for data interpretation, how that supervisor has helped, poor or good. That is 0. 0 means the preparation for data interpretation was not at all done by the supervisor. The training in time management was poor or good. Okay. Quality of supervision was poor or good. Accordingly, the tick mark will be given by the student. The amount of supervision was too little or too much? Amount of supervision was too much, right? This is regarding preparation and training imparted by the supervisor to the students or supervisee. Apart from that, some facilities, that is in the institutional facilities, the project workload was too low or too high. Interest in the project of the student was low or high. The required report length was too short or too long. Accordingly, the student will put their opinion here as a tick mark. Library facilities, institutional facilities, poor or good. Computing facilities, that is whether computer was not available or available to the students or not, poor or good. Laboratory facilities, project work has been assigned to the students, but the equipment is not there in the laboratory for the work. So poor or good. Accordingly, the marks will be given. Overall assessment. Overall, my view of the project was that it was very poor, very good. That is, the student will evaluate the teacher or supervisor. Now the question will come, if the student gives their feedback on the supervisor like this, in this format, then the supervisor may get disappointed and may give the adverse effects, and that will be reflected in the marks of the students, isn't it? That will be the quite clear. No, actually it is wanted that after giving all the marks and after submitting the marks to the appropriate authority, this questionnaire should be opened by the supervisor. Okay, so that it will not produce any negative effect on the student. So that is written here. Apart from the assessment pro forma, the student may be asked to make course assessment, and after all the material connected with his or project dissertation has been submitted, the replies of the students will not be analyzed until the final evaluation is over. Okay, so this should be mentioned, right? And in conclusion, we can say that this is a very unique learning opportunity for the students during the project work. Not only the students, the supervisor must also extend support to the students as a facilitator for promoting and encouraging supervisors to move forward with innovative ideas, right? So this is about your project work and students project work as well as evaluation of the project work. If you have any question, you can ask. Again, I am requesting the participants, you are all teachers, so please do not give so much of scratch marks on this screen. It is looking very odd. So it is not expected from your side. You are all teachers, so please you should also keep your respect for all, okay, as a teacher. Anyway, so if you have any question on that, please ask. And my another part I shall mention here, that is regarding the report. Now, one question I have received, how to evaluate the students' feedback in terms of marks? Yes, marks means that is if it is -2 +2, addition subtraction will be there, and finally it will be there. Finally means if it is +2 and -2, then overall will be 0. Okay, so if it is +1 -1, overall will be 0. So that is why 0 means no interaction, and -1 -2 means that is some negative impact is also there. Okay, so that is why -1 -2 has been provided in the evaluation rubric. Okay, so overall whatever tick mark will be given, and accordingly the addition deletion, that is it is just addition subtraction process, as accordingly whatever result will be obtained, that will be the final. And also at the last in the last but previous slide, that is just a minute, you see that here overall assessment is there. One overall assessment is there, which it is -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. That is overall assessment. Whether it is 0 means neutral, and if it is -1, that is the student is not, that the student has not received any help from the teachers. Rather, it has been created some lot of harm in the in doing the work. Then it will be negative -1, -2. Okay, so that has been mentioned here. If you have any other question, please ask. Anyway, so now I am giving you the report format, because project report is also one important aspect. I am just giving you one exposure on the project report format. That is format for preparation of project report. This is very important part, and this format for preparation of report you can share with your students, so that all of them can prepare the report in a single format, right? So first of all, arrangement of contents, that is the sequence in which the report material should be arranged and bound, which is written here. First of all, there will be one cover page, which may be colorful at the top page, cover page. Then inner title page, which is same as the cover page, but it is white color. Cover page normally may be of colored pages, but inner title page will be white, but content will be same, right? Then one certificate will be there, that is certified that it is a partial fulfillment of bachelor degree and so on, so on. And then acknowledgement will be there, abstract will be written, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, abbreviations and nomenclature if it is there. Then it will be coming the chapters, then references, appendix and publication if any. This is the overall sequence through which the report should be written. Regarding your attendance, one message I have received. So regarding your attendance, you please ask the coordinator, Professor Noshkar or Professor Orpon Mondol. This is
attendance link will be automatically open at the time which I mentioned. So
okay,
then no need to worry.
Okay, okay. So you have, I think you have received your response. Anyway, so this is your arrangement of contents for your project report that I have written here. Now you also give the typing instructions. Otherwise, if the instruction is not given to the students, then they will actually be confused. They will use different types of typing part, and ultimately mismatching will be there. So you should give the guideline. You can share the material regarding your typing instruction. I have given one example here. You can also set your own typing instruction, and you can share those typing instructions to your students. The project must be submitted in multiple copies. How many copies they will have to submit, that you should give them proper guidance. And a soft copy on CD in PDF format should be given. And length of the report may be 60 or 200 pages. That is your judgment. Project report should be your computer typed. Even you can mention the font size, etc. And the report shall be hardbound with cover pages, and try to maintain the uniform design of the cover page. So what will be the design? You can share that with your students. Okay. And also regarding line spacing, as well as numbering of pages, everything you should guide for your students. And you should also mention the chapters before the chapters, that is starting from you see that in a cover page, in the cover page you should not give any page number, but certificate, acknowledgement, abstract, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, all these things before the chapters, it will be your the typing guideline will be actually Roman numbers, that is small Roman numbers in this way. And the page number of the first page of each chapter should not be printed, but must be accounted for, right? And all page numbers from the chapters should be Arabic numerals. And this guidance you can give for your students. And the numbering should be located at the bottom center of the page. And also you should guide the students how to write the table of contents. That is, the table of contents should list all headings and subheadings. title, page, certificate, etc. will not be find a place among the items listed in the table of contents. So table of contents will also only contain the chapters, right? List of tables also should use the same captions as they appear in the tables within the text. Okay. One and a half spacing may be adapted for typing the matter. So list of tables, the titles must be same as the same title as the title mentioned in the text. Similarly for list of figures. Okay, so your symbols, abbreviation, nomenclature, if it is there, that should be typed with 1.5 line spacing. That may be considered as a standard, and any standard symbols, abbreviation should be used. And you then start with chapter, say chapter 1 introduction, then chapter 2 literature survey or literature review or previous work, anything. Chapter 3 may be on methodology of the present work. Chapter 4 may be result and discussion. Chapter 5 may be conclusion and future scope. In this way, you can divide the chapters, right? And last of all, you should add the references. That is what references they will they have gone through. Those references may be included in the chapters, right? So you should, references are there. You should also guide them how they should write the references. That is format of the references you should specifically mention in your guidance, right? And this is, I have given one title page, that is cover page. I have given one example, say a dissertation submitted in partial fulfillment and so on. And then title of the project, then name of the student, registration number, roll number, department, etc. All these things should be given. This is the pro forma for the certificate. And then your acknowledgement, it should be not more than 1 pages, right? Abstract, that is brief of the work, should be included in 1 page. Then this is table of contents, that is page number. In the table of contents, you should also write acknowledgement, abstract in your Roman numerals, right? And then chapters and Arabic numerals, chapter pages, Arabic numerals. Okay, and then your different chapters will also appear one by one. Then references, appendix, publication, if any. In the list of table, you see that number of tables as per the chapter. This table is chapter 3, this table is chapter 4, and so on. Title of those tables as written here will be similar to the text as mentioned within the pages, and the page marks are also given. So this is the sample sheet for list of tables. Then list of figures in the similar way, figure number, title of the figure, pages, everything should be written here. So you can also share the sample sheet with your students. And then nomenclature, if it is there, that can also be shared. If it is there as per the report, it can be given. Then chapters will be starting, and any program or should be given in appendix. Okay, not in the methodology or result or anywhere, right? So program should be given separately at the end in appendix, right? And in abstract, that is the how to write the abstract, give some guideline to the students. That is abstract means content the whole of the project in miniature. So within the abstract, you should state some main objectives, what they have investigated, and then some brief methods, what they have done, and summarize the important results, what they have found out during their work, and then in 1 or 2 sentences, the main conclusion. Okay, so these 3 things will be included in the abstract. So this will help the students to write the abstract in this way. And also give your advice to your students that do not include any reference to figures, information in the report, any background information in the abstract, right? Background literature review or reading, that should not be included in the abstract. Extract key points and condense material within the abstract. Similarly, in the introduction part, the content should be like that: describe the problem investigated, summarize relevant research to provide context, key terms, etc. Review relevant past research if it is there, and then finally briefly describe your research, whatever has been done previously and what the students have done, that should be written at the end of the introduction part. Advice is that move in the introduction part, the flow of the writing will be such that it should move from general to specific. That is a general discussion on what the work has been done previously and what exactly is done in the present work. That is, move from general to specific should be there. Relate the problems in the real world to your research and make clear links between the problem and the solution. What problem statement has been mentioned in the introduction and what solution has been received, has been obtained at the end, that linkage should be given, okay, in the introduction part. And any selective studies or site can be given in the introduction part. Methodology part is the next part. In the methodology, you should, that is how the problem has been studied and what materials and subjects or equipments regarding the detail of those can be included in the methodology part. How they have performed the research work, that methods and procedures should be included in the methodology part. And in advice is that provide enough detail for replication of the work. Any order, procedures chronologically should be mentioned in the methodology. And during writing methodology, you should use past tense to describe what you did, that is the student has done in their work, okay. So any result and procedure should not be mixed in the methodology. Result will be separate. So result in the discussion, result and discussion section, the experimental results in terms of table, graph, etc. may be produced. Each graph and table should be marked with number, okay. And advice is that in the result and discussion part, provide enough analysis of each data, table, etc., graph, whatever they have achieved, that should be analyzed rigorously. And result and procedure again should not be mixed up in the result and discussion part, and mention what is novelty of the work if it is there. If it is structured work, then this novelty part may not included, but if it is unstructured work, then novelty of the work for the students should be included in the experimental observation, right? And the conclusion part, what they should write, in the conclusion part, they should outline the success of the project when compared with the objectives that were set. So initially objectives were set, and then what success they have achieved at the end with respect to the objectives, that may be discussed. That will be included in the conclusion. Any further work for the research area can be included in the conclusion part, and most important findings in the work can be summarized in the conclusion part, right? Advice is that make explanations complete. Avoid speculation that cannot be tested in the foreseeable future. So that should be avoided. Discuss possible reasons for expected and unexpected findings. Sometimes whenever the students get unexpected findings, they gets confused whether we should mention all these unexpected findings in the report or not. But you as a facilitator or supervisor, you should advise your students that if it is unexpected findings regarding the work, then that should also be mentioned in the conclusion part, and also ask them to write the probable reason for finding the unexpected findings. So that should be included in the conclusion part, okay. So this is just like the format, that is chapter 1, sub chapters, etc. are to be given in this way. So thank you all. If you have any question, you can ask. Now I have completed my material. Now I shall give some questions for your assignment. 10 questions I have framed. I shall send these questions to your coordinator, and you will try to write the answer of these questions so that you can have some idea regarding this delivery in this particular session. The first question is, write a problem statement of a final year student's project on a preferred area. So any problem statement which you can offer for your students, that you should write. This is first thing. And related with the problem statement, then you should judge, is there any need to solve the problem in the statement? If it is yes, who needs the solution and why it is needed, why the solution is needed? If the solution is not needed, If the problem as a whole is not needed to solve, then there is no justification for solving the problem as a project work. So you have to justify whether there is any need to solve the problem in the statement or not. Okay. Then you have to find out or you have to mention whether the project work what you have given to your students is structured or unstructured. If it is structured, then why it is structured. If it is unstructured, then why it is unstructured. That should be written. What are the type of skills developed in the project work? So during the execution of the project work by the students, what are the different types of skills the students will achieve? That should be mentioned here. Is it a group activity or not? What is your that is planning for your students? Whether you will assign group project or not? Is it, what is the difference between team and group? Okay, so project team or project group, that difference you should clarify. Then how will you nurture the creativity among the students during the project development? That means you have given the problem statements. So how will you nurture the creativity among your students in relation with the problem statement? That you should mention in this particular answer. So what is next question is, what is project-based learning? That is different types of learning strategy I have mentioned. If you can gather information on this, you can write the answer. Is project-based learning an active learning strategy? That you should write your idea. And also my last question is, create an evaluation rubric for the problem statement for the project done by your students. At least 5 criteria you should mention in the evaluation rubric. Okay, so design the evaluation rubric for the project with 5 criteria. So 10 questions I have set here, and I shall give these 10 questions to your coordinator, and they will distribute these questions, or they will post these questions in the classroom, and ultimately you will be, I think, I expect that you will also try to answer all these questions. Okay, so thank you. If you have any question, you can ask.
No questions from the participant side? Are you guys even connected? Are we connected, or everyone just logged in and left? No question. Okay, so someone is raising the hands.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
actually, to do the assignment, will
Sir,
we
you're
get
not
the
audible
study
properly.
materials?
Study
Okay, I
materials.
shall I shall give the study materials to Arpan sir, and you will get it from sir. Okay, so I shall provide all the PPTs.
One time, but you have to submit. जब ना लेना कि दे.
None of that also available.
Anyway, your voice is not properly audible.
Madam, hello.
Hello.
Madam, till now you have not, the link has not been opened, madam.
Which link?
Quiz link.
Study material.
Okay, that has been done. That I shall give
Quiz
to
link,
your.
I will take care. Don't worry about that.
Okay,
Okay,
it will be given to Arpan sir. Huh?
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, madam, good evening. This is Maurya from Nehu's Long. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, audible.
Yeah, madam, as you talked about the project format, but it may vary with respect to the subject and subject area.
Of course, sir. Of course, it will vary. I have given one example only, and you can develop your own format as per your subject area, as per your institutional rules and regulations, etc. All these things will be accommodated. So this is what I have given. This is one example only.
Yeah, madam,
And
really
also
we
whatever.
enjoy our session, madam. You have nicely explained.
Okay,
we
thank
have
you,
not
sir.
come across that we should also take the feedback from student. We think that project is completed means completed, but it is a
No,
good
no,
idea.
no.
And by next time onward, definitely we will be taking the feedback from
Yes,
student.
yes. But one thing, sir, after submitting all the marks, to the appropriate authority. You will be opening, then you will be opening your students' feedback, not before that. Otherwise, it will be that is some actually negative impact may be there.
Yeah. Madam, if you have any ready instruction, what kind of the BTech project format should be there, so kindly share with us. So we
That
can
means
give
your report format.
report format.
At present, a BTech report format is not with me, but MTech report format is there. I can share
Yeah,
that
it will
if
work.
it is.
It will work, ma'am. Okay.
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 That I shall share with Orpon sir. You will get it. Huh?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all the participants. Thanks to all of you.
Okay,
So,
thank you, madam, for the
you, ma'am.
long and extensive presentation, as well as the assignments you gave. I'll forward to them, and
okay.
I hope that everyone will be interested to submit all the assignments properly within the time. So again, assignment is not for us. If you submit, then you will learn, you will grow.
Right.
So we are teachers, and this much what is that called, genuineness is expected. And in the quiz test, it is very sad to see that some faculty members have got 0 also in last 3 tests. Okay, so please do not randomly just attend, because here we are recording your attendance separately. So quiz is very much important that the cumulative total marks will be reflected towards your final calculation. So please you read out the questions and see how much you can answer properly. Okay. So thank you all, and the quiz link will be on within maybe from 5 o'clock. The quiz link will be on. Okay. Let me get the madam's part. So
Okay.
Sir, one thing to say, can I say?
Yes.
Sir, actually from 4:50 I will be having one meeting. So can I just by 5 p.m. it will be active. So can you just
From
give me 10 minutes
5 to
extra?
6, it will be on 1
Okay,
hour.
up to 6 p.m. Okay, then no problem, sir. Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam.
So, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Thakur here. Presentation, ma'am.
Presentation you will get. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you all. I shall provide all the material to your coordinator, sir. So you will all get it. No problem. Thanks to all of you. So may I leave now?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is there a deadline for the submission of the quiz?
Yes, quiz. Today itself we have to submit.
Yeah, but what's the time limit?
You'll get till 6 o'clock today.
Can you extend it till 7? Because we'll be reaching home almost at 6:30 from college.
Oh, okay, done. Chalo, 7.
Okay, thank you so much.
Quiz 1 is
Thank you so
on.
much, sir.
Quiz 1 for day 2 is on. Quiz 1 for day 2 is on. You may try right now. Quiz 2 will come after some time. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Today
Okay.
is the time limit, as I just told, up to 7 o'clock.
Thank you. That's wonderful, sir.
Thank you
so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, for assignment submission, till what time we can submit, sir?
Ma'am, assignment we have not given, so in the website you please check. But quiz
Okay, sir.
today itself.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, kindly also share a study material.
Attendance also link is on.
হ্যালো স্যার
Yes.
ভদ্রলোককে বললাম যে আমাদেরকে টাইম একটু এক্সটেন্ড করো হ্যালো স্যার
Yes. Tell me.
হ্যাঁ স্যার my problem actually sir in the end of the first session actually my principal called me, that's why I just forgot to give the attendance for first session.
Okay.
So kindly, if you kindly allow me to submit now.
Whatever is gone, that is gone.
Okay.
So do not think much about that.
हाँ.
So जो गया हो गया. आगे के लिए सोचते हैं. Live in the present.
हाँ. Yes,
Otherwise,
sir.
what happened? those who were not present, so I have to again open the link and everyone will give the attendance.
Yes, sir. No, I am all the time I was present.
I know, sir. We'll verify with the Zoom attendance also. There is
Yes, sir. So that is I
automatic
want to say.
attendance in Zoom, you know that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So even
Yes,
if
sir.
you have
Yes.
skipped, if you have logged in Zoom, there will be automatic record. Even how many times you logged out, logged in, total time also it can be seen in
Yes.
the
Yes.
Zoom platform. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
Such lecture material is not seen in
Madam,
the link
please,
given.
please hold on till tomorrow. We'll be getting. Okay. For lecture materials, please hold on till tomorrow. Maybe today night I will upload. Let us see how best I can do it.
Sir, just a query that whether pre-test is also compulsory.
Yes, otherwise how, like what we are doing here, we are going to see the performance of individuals. The pre-test consists the questions from all over the topics. And then
Okay.
you are going to take another final test. So we'll
But
see
I
about the
missed.
performance
But I
value.
missed on the pre-test, sir.
You have missed.
Sir,
Yes.
I also missed the
Me too,
pre-test,
sir.
sir.
Many
Okay,
of the
what
participants
I'll
have missed the
do,
pre-test.
Sir,
what
I
I'll do,
also missed the pre-test.
tomorrow morning, I'll open the free test. So those who have missed, you may try, and I will send an announcement for that also. So let us
At what time, sir?
tomorrow morning, like at night, I'll switch it on, and it will be on till the class starts tomorrow.
Okay.
Till 10:30.
Sir, I have a question, sir. That's is pre-test is happen every day, sir?
What?
No, pre-test was only on the first day.
Pre-test was only on first day, and every day there will be 2 more quiz.
Okay. Then okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So, like I've missed yesterday's day 1 quiz 2.
No, that we cannot allow, ma'am.
Yeah, I understand. But will how much, what criteria has been there for the completion of the STTP?
Criteria is together we'll be seeing that how much the scores of the individual in all the tests. There will be weightage, then attendance, there will be weightage, assignment, there will be weightage, and finally your that project submission or practical submission will be weightage. So all together it will count towards everything. Okay, so it's not just a 1 day quiz you missed and then everything is gone. It's not like that, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Sir, just one last query, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, where I will be getting the link for the pre-test, because in the website I can't see any particular heading for the pre-test.
Because pre-test deadline is over. If you see there, it was switched,
Yes.
it was on till the day 1. And as some of you have missed it, so I may switch it on up like after this quiz is over of today's quiz, and then it will be switched on till tomorrow morning 10:30.
So we will be getting the pre-test under the quiz link itself.
Every test will be in this link.
Okay, quiz link.
Quiz, final test, everything will be here.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So that there will not be a lot of hundreds of links.
Sir, today day 1 quiz is not opening. Day 2 quiz first is not opening.
Day 2, okay.
जो 1:30 पे क्विज थी सर वो आज ओपन नहीं हो रही थी, उसमें लिख रहा था इट विल बी ओपन एट 4:30.
हाँ अभी तो हो रही है ना ओपन.
यस सर, लेकिन वो तो सर ये क्विज 2 है आज की या क्विज 1 ओपन हो रही है?
दोनों ही है
क्विज
सर.
1 तो ओपन नहीं हो रही.
दोनों ही है.
अच्छा
ठीक है
जी.
दोनों ही है.
इस समय दोनों मतलब
Still,
both the
quiz one is not opening.
Sir, for both the quiz for today, last timing is till 7 or 6, sir?
7 p.m.
Day 2, quiz 1, quiz 2, both timing. Last timing is 7. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have one question. Like, is the quiz, I mean, the scores and the performance will be returned back to us? so that we can know
Yes,
where
yes,
we have
it
done
will
the
be, it
mistake?
will be returned back to you, but not now, after the whole thing is over.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we'll be publishing the results, and you can, again, the results can be seen by visiting this link.
Okay, but if during the course, if it is returned after, I mean, the day is over, then what we can do, we can actually learn our mistakes and we can rectify in the final exam.
I'm not getting you, sir.
सर मैं जो बोल रहा था कि अगर सपोज आज का जो क्विज है वो उसका जो रिजल्ट है और उसका जो करेक्ट आंसर से क्या 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 गलत हम किया है, यह अगर हमको बोल दिया
हाँ
जाए।
सर, वो तो लास्ट में पता करेंगे ना, लास्ट में आपको पूरा मिल जाएगा क्या क्या क्वेश्चन था, टोटल लिस्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस विल बी गेटिंग। ठीक है,
ओके।
तो अभी अभी पब्लिश करने के लिए, ठीक है, मैं देखता हूँ कल से अगर कर सकता हूँ।
ये इसलिए बोल रहा था कि फाइनल एग्जाम के लिए हमें तो हमारा गलती पहले से
गॉट इट, गॉट इट, गॉट इट। ठीक है, अच्छा सजेशन है आपका, तो मैं देखता हूँ कल से एटलीस्ट एक दिन बाद मैं देने के लिए कोशिश करूंगा।
या दैट विल बी फाइन, थैंक यू सर।
ठीक है सर,
थैंक यू।
what I'll do, I'll upload in that website so that you can see there.
Yeah, thank you sir.
Okay. And if I do like this, that I will upload the question as well as answer, so
Yes.
automatically you can understand what is your performance, right?
Yes, yes.
ठीक है सर, मैं कर सकता हूँ ये, I'll do it.
Yes, thank you sir.
Anything else?
सर कौन से वेबसाइट पे जाना है सर? नेम
वेबसाइट
प्लीज
का
सर।
तो लिंक बहुत पहले दिया था, आप टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में है?
जी जी सर, जी जी जी।
तो उसमें देखिए, किसी को पूछिए, सब दे देगा आपको।
ठीक ठीक सर, ओके, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू, थैंक यू
सर
सर।
मेरी आपसे फोन पे बात हुई थी।
जी मैडम।
कि मुझे मेल नहीं आ रहे हैं, फिर मैंने एकेडमिक पे मेल डाला था एंड देन दे हैव रिस्पोंडेड एंड गिवन मी द जूम लिंक। सो मतलब इज इट वर्किंग नाइसली? मतलब आपके इसमें एनरोल हो गया है नाम, क्या हुआ है?
अगर वो लोग रेस्पॉन्ड किया है तो मैडम वो मेल का प्रिंट आउट एक स्क्रीन, मतलब कॉपी रखिए, एंड बिकॉज somebody if they denies you, so I don't have any control over that. Okay, so what I can control here, that this session, so to whom they are going to select, to whom not to select, वो मेरे हाथ में नहीं है, इसलिए मैं बोला कि डायरेक्टली वहां कॉन्टेक्ट कीजिए। वो लोग दे
मुझे
दिया है
Zoom
तो
लिंक
अच्छा है,
शेयर करके भी भेजा। यस
कोई बात नहीं, तब हो गया है।
हाँ, थैंक यू सर।
ठीक है, फॉर अदर्स ऑल्सो, if you have not received any mail from the academic section and but you are attending the course, तो आप प्लीज एक एकेडमिक सेक्शन को मेल भेज के रखिए। ठीक है, अदरवाइज अगर कोई कल डिनाई करे कि आप रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो, दैट आई कैनॉट, और मास्टर सर कैनॉट लाइक इंडल्ज इन दैट, बिकॉज वी ऑल्सो फॉलो द ऑर्डर्स। हम लोग को ऑर्डर भेजा गया है कि ये आपका पार्टिसिपेंट लिस्ट है, दिस इज योर पार्टिसिपेंट लिस्ट एंड यू हैव टू टेक क्लासेस। ठीक है, बट कौन सिलेक्टेड होगा, कौन सिलेक्टेड नहीं होंगे, सो दोज थिंग्स वी कैनॉट से। Okay, so if you are attending and not registered, or have not received registered but not received mails, please intimate the academic section. You may give a copy to me and Noskar sir. Okay.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, madam.
sir, is the pre-test link is pre-test compulsory, sir?
Yes, madam, it was compulsory so that we can see the performance. Did you miss? If you have missed, so then tonight we'll open again. You may try it, and till tomorrow morning it will be okay, open.
Oh, okay, sir. At what time, sir?
It will be open maybe after 7, and till tomorrow morning 10:30 it will be on.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, I was missed that one. That's what. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, one query from my side, sir. Sir, wait, sir. Sir, in quiz, sir, one question is there. Just wait, sir. Sir, question is that which organization is responsible for formulating policies and coordinating technical education in India? Options are Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. These options are right, or any options will be available, sir?
Ministry of Education.
Maybe this question is
You see the answer. It's a simple question, sir. Whether you attend my course or not, if you are a teacher, you should know this. Ministry of Education. There are two options like Ministry of Education.
Sir, there is a word not technical.
हाँ, टेक्निकल तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन का अंडर नहीं तो किसके अंडर आता है? एआईसीटी किसके अंडर है?
AICT. Okay,
किसके
sir.
अंडर है?
Okay, sir. Okay.
MHRD.
MHRD अभी नहीं है सर, वो खत्म हो गया अभी.
Ministry of Education. हाँ.
Yes, sir. Ministry of Education. जी जी. Sir, one more thing. Sir, pre-test daily होना है या फिर first? Sir.
In the morning.
Pre-test सब daily होना है या फिर first day पे जो मैंने आंसर दिया वही बस ओके है सर?
प्री-टेस्ट का मतलब यह एक ही बार होगा. जो मिस किया है वो लोग फिर से करे, मिस नहीं किया है तो करने का जरूरत नहीं है.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर, वेरी थैंक यू.
Hello, sir. Sir, today test is not opening.
No, it is on.
No, sir. I'm on the link, but it is not opening.
What it is showing to you?
It's already submitted, sir.
Then edit it.
Already edited, sir, but it's not opening. Like.
Sir, then please ask someone with you.
Okay.
So then you'll be able to see the options. See, I'll just show you.
Okay.